after years of waiting, Witcher Old World is finally here. I kickstarted this Kickstarter so long ago, and it is finally all here, and I cannot wait to go through it with all of you. Let's go. That last bit seemed really phoned in, but I am actually genuinely very excited to get through all this. Let's go. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. My name is Garmin. This is the Storycraft Society, and this week we are going over The Witcher Old World. This is a game that I have been so incredibly beyond excited for. I said that in the intro. I said it again now. I will probably say it 1,000 times through this video. I am a huge Witcher fan, from the books to the games, and I just cannot wait to dive into this board game by Go On Board. Now, I kickstarted this forever ago. I'm not actually sure how many years ago it was, and probably a better content creator would know that exact date, but it's been years. It's been a long time of waiting, and there are so many bits and bobs to this, so I'm gonna stop chatting and we can start diving into the beginning of it. A really quick mention is this video is not going to teach you how to play this game. It's just me showing off what you got if you backed the very highest tier of the Witcher Old World Kickstarter. Also, that's something that I didn't mention in the intro. This is like the highest package that you could get if you were not a storefront. So I'm excited to show all of this stuff off, but it's not going to teach you how to play the game as much as it's just going to be showing off the cool components and all the cool miniatures and stuff. All right, let's go. So to get this started off, what is Witcher Old World? Well, in Witcher Old World, you take on the role of a Witcher to discover stories that took place hundreds of years before the events of both the book and video game saga. You'll get to explore a world full of tough choices and where danger lurks around every corner. And then what happens is, after completing your training at your school's keep, you begin your journey of exploration, not only to make enough for a bowl of porridge, but also to find glory and pride for the school whose medallion you wear. This is an action-adventure board game where you are traveling across the continent and you are fighting monsters, dealing with the other Witchers, and a whole bunch of other awesome things. Now, the components that I got in the deluxe box are a big game board, 36 city exploration cards, 36 wilds exploration cards, 56 event cards, action cards, potion cards, attribute trophy cards, 10 help cards and solo help cards. You get 2 sets of Witcher poker dice, 35 gold tokens. Both the dice and the tokens I actually got upgraded components of, so we'll show those off a little later. 1 closed tavern token, 18 location tokens, 28 monster cards, 28 monster tokens, 20 monster fight cards, and then for each of the Witchers, there's going to be 5 of them in this box, there will be 1 player board, 1 miniature with a colored base, 5 wooden cubes, a scoring token, a wooden shield marker, 10 starting action cards, and 4 Witcher trophy cards. And that, of course, does not include the 28 miniatures that comes in this deluxe box on top of the 5 Witcher character models. One thing that I will say before we move on to the next part of the Kickstarter, I'm actually not that big of a board game player. I do play board games and I do like playing board games, but I infinitely more, as you can tell behind me, I play more Dungeons and Dragons and role-playing games. So one of the main reasons that I wanted this was specifically to have physical models of the Witcher models. And honestly, this Leshen model is the reason why I backed this Kickstarter as quickly as I did. I always wanted a Leshen model. I don't have a 3D printer, so getting one is really cool. And I will say, for my needs as a role-playing game player, that's what I use most of my models for. These models are of a quality that I am very happy with. And if you're anything like me, a huge fan of Witcher 3, the video game, and a tabletop gamer, getting to use a lot of these models, like the 3 crones from Crookback Bog, to just have them, to be able to put them onto your role-playing game table on top of just having it as part of the board game, is like absolutely fantastic. I figured the next thing that we're going to do is take a look at the Neoprene game board that we got, because we already kind of looked at the regular game board, but this is like the good stuff. This is my favorite type of board game board ever. It is just absolutely fantastic, and this looks gorgeous. I mean, it is just absolutely perfect, at least for what I will need out of this game. And I mean, I can't say enough. It has all of the space for the regular game, the Mages expansion, and the Skellige expansion. We're going to be getting to those in a little bit, but boy, this couldn't look any better than it does. The game board even comes fully equipped with a bouclier, which is the greatest place in the books or the games. I will die on this hill. The next two things that I will mention in passing before we move on to the other boxes is going to be the other two add-ons that I got, one of which was the heavyweight metal coins. The other is the deluxe Witcher dice. Neither of these are necessary, but I always like a game that has just that little extra bit of flair that steps up the whole experience for everybody. So, like I said, I'm a role player at heart, so having a board game that immerses you a little bit extra just speaks directly to me, and these things definitely help. The next box we're going to be taking a look at is actually 5 boxes in one. These are the Kickstarter expansions, and I'm pretty sure, again, you can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but these are the Kickstarter exclusive expansions, so you won't be able to get these anywhere else other than the Kickstarter. So the ones that are included are Monster Trail expansion, the Wild Hunt expansion, and then the Adventure Pack, the Ciri expansion, and the Lost Mount expansion, which is a fun nod to Witcher 3. So in this one is actually not missing. It just got punched a little early and it fell out down here. But this is going to include all of those. It includes this awesome Ciri board, and then of course a whole bunch of other cards and things. Again, I will not torture any one of you or myself with the idea that this video is going to be fully comprehensive, but I just kind of wanted to show off a little bit of what's going to be in each box. And of course, if you're really, really excited about any of this stuff and you'd like to see me do a more in-depth video on any of it, leave it down in the comments below, and if enough people are interested, I would be glad to do a video. Although again, I will repeat, I'm not a board gamer per se as much as I'm a role player. Anyway, this is the Kickstarter expansions. I guess as each one of these goes back into the box, I can give you a quick synopsis of what each expansion will add. So the Monster Trail expansion actually adds the School of the Manticore Witcher, as well as a troll and some alternate game modes. So that's cool. The Wild Hunt expansion takes the game from being a competitive game to a cooperative game. So instead of fighting monsters and trying to be the best Witcher, all of the Witchers have to fight monsters and work together to eventually, at the very end of the game, fight the Wild Hunt. That is a really cool addition to a game that it can totally change up the flavor of the game. If you and your friends start to get bored with one version, you can now start to play it cooperative or vice versa, which is cool. The other three, I'm not 100% sure how they're going to affect the game, but Lost Mount is a very short expansion. All of the rules here are just right in there. The Adventure Pack, it looks like it adds into the exploration decks so that you get a little bit more to do there. And then of course, the Ciri expansion allows you to play as Ciri. The Mages expansion is actually really exciting because it allows you to now play as mages, not just as witchers. So in this, you will get all new boards, you'll get all new components, you'll get all new tokens, a whole bunch of new action cards and mage action cards, not to mention this whole extra section of the board that you get. That's very, very exciting. And of course, not only do I get all of that stuff, plus the boards, plus the cards, but because this is the deluxe version with the miniatures, I get the cool mage models as well. And honestly, these could be used, for a cool D&D game character if you wanted to. These are just really, really cool. This guy jumping out of a portal is really, really neat. And that is the Mages expansion. The Legendary Hunt expansion is a super, super cool one because in this one, you're going to get a whole bunch of legendary monsters that are going to be maneuvering around the board and doing all kinds of legendary monster havoc. That's really, really exciting. You're going to get 7 new models, obviously, in the deluxe version. Actually, this is an expansion, so maybe they just automatically come as part of the expansion. I'm not sure about that. But tokens for them, their special legendary monster cards, and then look at these models. Super cool Golem, a Frost Giant. This actually might be the Frost Giant from Undvik. I believe it was Undvik that you fought him in that. The big, huge frog from the Oxenfurt sewers. That's super, super cool. Oh man, Gaunter O'Dim. That's amazing. All of these, I'm not going to sit here and go through every single one of them, but all of these are really, really cool, and it will definitely take the game up that next level of intensity. The final expansion box is Skellige. Just absolutely love that box art too. Just the big, ginormous wave crashing on the longship. In this one, you're going to get to explore the Skellige Isles with a whole bunch of new exploration cards and event cards. There's going to be a Dagon that you're going to end up being able to fight. So you get all of the things you need for that. You get these cute little longships, which is just really, really, really awesome. Of course, you get the Skellige board that will be added onto the main board there. But if you have the neoprene mat, you don't necessarily need it. And then look at these cute little ships. Look at the little space for your model to sit. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Here's the Dagon model. I mean, I heard some things where people were complaining about the potential miniature quality, but I find nothing to complain about. I really, really, really am happy with how they're looking. The final 2 things to look at are 2 smaller expansions. The first one is the Monster Expansion Pack. This is going to bring 3 powerful new monsters into the game. There are terrifying sirens that you can add into your journey into Skellige. There is the Kayran that you can fight just like you did in The Witcher 2. And then, of course, you also get a Koshki, which is a monster that all Witchers and mages are afraid of. This is a really cool little addition. Just brings a little bit more versatility to the game. And then, of course, the other one is the mounted Eridan figure. And I believe this is what we got for like the first 24 hours backing. So I jumped on it really fast, and this was one of the things that we got for that. This is such a cool model with Eridan up on his horse. I mean, it's the Wild Hunt. Them riding along, it's like iconic. So thank you so much for coming along and joining me as I look through all of this stuff. I honestly just can't wait to get it set up on the table and actually get to play it, getting to learn the rules, getting to find the ins and outs of my favorite parts of it. And I'm actually just going to be totally 100% honest. The models are worth it alone for me. So even if I only play the game a few times, the models are so cool. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. It's definitely different than my normal content is. If you are new to the channel and you are coming into it because of Witcher Old World, I make Dungeons & Dragons terrain and talk about Dungeons & Dragons and tabletop role-playing games. If you think that that's something that you'd be interested in, I got a lot of videos in the back catalog that you could check out. Definitely give it a shot, see if it's something that you like. But that's it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed it as much as I enjoyed making it. If you did, do all the YouTube stuff, like this video, leave a comment down below, subscribe to the channel if you're interested. The #1 way that you can help a small YouTube channel out is to share this video with a friend that you think would enjoy it. So if you have a friend who is itching to get their hands on their copy, maybe this will help scratch the itch a little bit, get to see into the boxes just a little bit, I guess. Thank you so much for the luxury of your time and attention, and until next week, I'll be seeing you.